Theater is a wonderful medium that allows you to express yourself in many ways. Have you ever heard of the quote, "Life imitates art far more than art imitates life"? Well, there's some truth to that. I know this through personal experience. Growing up in the great city of Compton as a little girl, my parents kept me involved in the performing arts. I went to theater camps and even got the opportunity to travel across the country, competing against some of the world's most talented kids with the NAACP AXO Team Compton chapter. My first mentors were Jim and Delana Goins of Laity Theater, who introduced me to the world of theater at the tender age of 8 years old. And I've been in love with it ever since. See, the art of theater and storytelling allows you to become the voice that is oftentimes silent, scared, and vulnerable. It speaks to the heart of the broken and reminds us that we are all human, sharing the same journey, but different paths. So I decided to become a storyteller. In the past, I had the pleasure of playing various women roles, such as the sultry and seductive Mamie in the award-winning play Intimate Apparel by Lynn Nottage, directed by my mentor, Deshaun A. Booker. Or one of my favorites, Pearl Cleage's Flying West, where I played Sister Sophie Washington, that was set in 1898. It was a story of these African-American female pioneers who settled in the all-Black town of Nicodemus, Kansas. Many of these homesteaders were Black women who overcame tremendous odds just to be able to work their own land and make a place for themselves in often horrible conditions. And if that wasn't enough, I was chosen by the legendary actress herself, Jo Marie Payton, to portray her in her one-woman show, The Drama That Surrounds Me, the incomplete autobiography of Jo Marie Payton, directed by Leroy Meadows. The show chronicles the young actress' life as she grew up in Opelika, Florida during the 1960s. And despite child abuse, poverty, pre-integration, discrimination, racial hatred, and being one of 8 children raised by her mother, she was able to develop a strong foundation that propelled her into her destiny. I was a part of the beautiful cast of the Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler, and I played the angry vagina, and I was a damn good angry vagina. The Vagina Monologues took you on a journey of topics through the eyes of women from many different walks of life. See, we as women, we have many different outlets to express our experiences. We gather often to celebrate life, love, wins, disappointments, breakups, breakdowns, success, new beginnings, and everything in between. If I wanted to, before COVID-19 hit, I could go to some type of women's empowerment event every weekend. A lunch, brunch, dinner, happy hour, retreat, you name it. Because we create places for women to come to talk about our personal traumas and learn how to overcome them and how to be whole, healed, and live your best lives. But what about the men? I quickly realized that men don't have the same outlets as women do. I mean, think about it. Where can they go to bear it all? To talk about those uncomfortable conversations and silent secrets. It's only so much you can talk about in the barbershop, cigar lounge, or game day. Then I began to reflect on the men that I knew personally in my own life and some of the traumas that they went through. For example, I only saw my father cry twice. And that was when his mother died and when he was diagnosed with cancer. I was 28 when my father died. I only saw my older brother Jesse cry twice. And that's when he was medically discharged from the Marines. And one year when I baked him a chocolate cake for his birthday because he loved chocolate cake and he thought that was the sweetest thing. I was 31 years old when my brother died. I heard my best friend Sean cry once when one of his relatives was facing some health challenges and he was a bit worried. And when his grandmother died in 1996, and we've been best friends for over 25 years. See, some men are taught that men don't cry. Men don't show emotion, to always be tough, because anything opposite of that is considered weak. And unfortunately, for some men, that way of thinking started as a little boy. I remember one time I was out and I saw a little boy running and jumping and playing, and he fell and he hurt his knee. And he began to cry. And his father rushed over to him and yelled, "Get up and stop acting like a punk. Right now." Now, the little boy was crying because he was hurt. His knee was bleeding. And instead of his father consoling him and providing a safe place for him to cry, he was scolded for simply having feelings and expressing them. See, trauma comes in many different ways, whether they're childhood traumas or adult traumas. And when we don't deal with them, they tend to bleed out in other areas of our lives. And it affects how we deal with each other, our relationships, and even ourselves. And I saw that there was a need for men. And I wanted to do something about that. So I decided to write a stage play called The Penis Monologues, The Long, Hard Truth. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's a men's empowerment show. The show is dedicated to men. It's an all-male cast telling real, raw, and riveting true stories that some men face. We talk about many different subject matters such as sexual molestation, absentee father, street violence, and the mental impact it had, sexual acceptance, love, marriage, relationship, male abstinence, social injustice, and how it directly affects Black men, and how the emotional and psychological trauma weighs on their mental health. See, this show speaks to men across the board. The Penis Monologues, The Long, Hard Truth, is a safe place for men to come and see a reflection of themselves and to understand that they are not alone. To witness men just like them in the most transparent way bear it all on stage. It opened up those avenues for uncomfortable conversations to be had and the opportunity for healing to begin. It creates a brotherhood and a safe place just for them. I didn't realize the impact of the show until I received overwhelming feedback from the audience, but men specifically. They would come up to me after the show and say things like, "Thank you for telling my story. That guy is me. I need to go home and have a conversation with my wife or significant other. I need to apologize. Thank you for being my voice because I would never have the courage to say that out loud." And my favorite, "Thank you for loving us so much to create something so special." See, my mission is to always uplift, inspire, and empower my community to be better than it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. See, my prayer is that the Penis Monologues, the long, hard truth, will someday catch fire and spread the message of hope, love, and healing for men all across the world and create a global brotherhood that cannot be broken. And I vow to continue to use my gifts to help reach the heart of the people and to help change the world one story at a time. And I ask that you join me and be fearless and use your gifts to help change the world because, see, we all have them. Yes, my friends, even you. My name is Karen Roberson, and I am a proud storyteller from the beautiful city of Compton, California. And I am my brother's keeper.